Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks so much for joining me for my Try It Out Tuesday. Today we're trying out a Hero Art Stamp and Cut set. It's a small stamp set with coordinating dies. I love these sets because of the price point and also that everything's included, which is nice. This is called the House Stamp and Cut set, and I thought today would be fun creating a congrats on your new home kind of a card. I haven't made one of those before, so I thought it'd be great to add to our card stash. We're going to start off by stamping the little houses. There's 3 put together, and then there's a whole bunch of little smaller images that you could create a little scene with. So I stamped the tree, the kite, and the little bicycle, and then we're going to stamp 3 clouds, and I'm going to stamp 1 more tree just for good measure. But I'm using Memento ink to stamp my images, and I'm using Neenah 80-pound cardstock as my back panel. Both of these are alcohol marker friendly. So I'll zoom in, and I did speed the coloring up a little bit just to make it go a little bit faster. But this reminds me of when we first moved into our house over here. It was so funny. In one of the drawers, there was a little keychain that had a little button on it, and I thought it was a garage door opener, and I thought that was the neatest thing. So I'm standing outside the garage, and I'm just pushing this button. I must have pushed it like 20 times, and then I showed my husband, and I said, it's not working. This garage door opener is not working. And he goes, well, I don't understand. He goes, we have the garage door openers for the car right here. And he showed them to me, and I'm still pushing this button, and all of a sudden my neighbor comes over, and he's on an ATV, and then we live out in the country, and he had a rifle on his back, which kind of scared me a little bit, but I guess he was hunting or something. But he goes, is everything okay? Is everything okay? I was like, well, yeah, everything's fine. He goes, well, my name's so-and-so, and nice to meet you. Welcome to the neighborhood. And I was like, oh, how nice is that? And then not even 2 minutes later, like 2 fire trucks came in, and then like a couple sheriffs and the police department, a couple police cars came in, and I'm going, what is going on? And we have a pretty long driveway, and they're all lined up on our driveway. And they're all, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I'm like, my husband's like, yes, everything's fine, you know, and he's out there chit-chatting with them and getting to know our emergency response team. Well, it turns out that that little button was one of those emergency buttons that if you get in trouble, if you push it, it's automatically connected to our alarm system. So we got to know the entire neighborhood really fast. So that's what reminds me of my new house card here. So I just thought I'd share that little fun story with you. So anyway, coloring is done. I'm just touching up my mess ups on the sides with my markers with my white gel pen. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the coordinating dies, and I'm just going to die cut out all my little images. For my background today, I thought it'd be fun to do something a little bit different. And so after we get our images cut out, we're going to work on our background. We'll set these aside. I chose some bright colors for my house too. Okay, now I have a piece of white cardstock, and we're going to die cut out a panel that's 4 inches by 5 1/4, but I want to create a window on it. So I'm taking a square die, placing it more towards the top of my panel, almost like creating a photo frame. I'm going to die cut that out, and then using the inside piece of my photo frame, I'm going to trace around with my pencil on a piece of Strathmore Bristol smooth cardstock. We're going to start off by using some Oxide inks. I'm going to use tumbled glass, and just using my blending tool, I'm going to blend some light blue ink on the very upper portion of my panel, kind of creating a real pretty blue sky. And then I wanted to create a little grassy area on the bottom. I'm going to actually mask off, just using my scissors and a piece of Post-it tape. I just created some hills, and I'm going to mask off that very bottom area. Okay, what I thought would be fun and different, I'm going to go ahead and add some water droplets, which was really subtle. You really couldn't tell. I didn't let it react very much. But I have the house stamp here, and I'm going to use a couple of different shades of blue. Starting off with Stormy Sky, It's an Oxide ink also. I'm going to stamp this twice in my background. Now I'm only going to stamp in the penciled area that I marked. I'm going to stamp them right next to each other, and I didn't want them the same height, so one's lower than the other. Now after I have that done, using an acrylic block, I'm going to dab some of my ink on there, and then I did spray it with a little bit of water using my distress sprayer. And then using my paintbrush, I'm going to fill in those houses in the background. I thought it'd be fun to create a shadowy silhouette, almost kind of a style in the background. So I'm just basically painting in all my houses with that Stormy Sky Oxide ink. And it didn't cover the lines completely, but it had a little shadow effect, and it turned out really super neat. And I'm just going all the way down to where my masking paper is, kind of keeping my ink a little bit concentrated, because I didn't want it to be a pale shadow. I wanted it to be kind of a strong shadow. This turned out really neat, and I was really happy with the outcome. Okay, once I have this done, I'm going to use my heat gun, and I'm going to dry my panel. I'm going to add a little bit more darker color to the rooftops here. Okay, my panel is dried. I just sped it up with my heat gun, and then I'm going to take that same house stamp, and we're going to do the same thing, but this time using Broken China Oxide ink. And I'm going to go a little bit lower, and I'm offsetting it again so that my houses aren't lined up exactly. So I have like not a cityscape, more of like a townscape in the background. Now I'm going to add some of my Oxide to my acrylic block, spray it with a little bit of water. Just cleaning my brush off here, I'm going to do the exact same thing and fill in my houses. And that's the nice thing about the Oxide inks, is it does cover on top of the other one beautifully. So I have a real pretty housescape in the background. Okay, once my background was painted in, I did dry it again with my heat gun. I'm just going to remove my mask. Then I have that little hilly area, and using Twisted Citron, I'm going to fill in my hillside here. And I did trail it up a little bit, and it blended with that blue to create like a deeper green. And then for the bottom, I'm going to bring in some peeled paint and just do a little bit of two-tone shading with my greens. So basically that's my background. I think it turned out super neat. If you want to use grays with this, and I think that would look really nice too. I'm just trimming down my background panel so it will fit behind my photo frame. And then we'll take our tape runner and go ahead and adhere this to an A2 size card base, which I got upside down, which I do often. That's why I always check, make sure my card opens the right way. Once my background's adhered, I'm going to add some double-sided foam tape behind my photo frame. And then we'll go ahead and add that to our card base. And then now it's the fun part where we get to arrange our little scene. For my sentiment for this card, I chose Happy New Home. We'll go ahead and stamp that. I'm going to use my VersaFine ONYX black ink to stamp that. And I'm stamping on some white cardstock. And then using one of my sentiment dies, I'm just going to cut out my Happy New Home. Just lining it up so it's nicely balanced. And we're going to go ahead and add some foam tape behind our sentiment. And then we'll go ahead and adhere our house as well. We're going to add foam tape behind all of our elements. In fact, the house, I put one layer of foam tape on the very bottom and then 2 layers on the top, because that's going to sit on the inside of my window. I think we're going to go ahead and place our sentiment right below our homes. It was the perfect size. And then we're going to add a couple of our trees. One of them will go directly inside of our window, and then the other one I wanted outside, like our little houses are sitting. We'll just kind of tuck it underneath our frame there. Super cute. And then we're going to go ahead and add our little bike. I'm going to place that on the right underneath that lower tree. That way it's kind of grounded a little bit. And then for my kite, I went ahead and adhered directly to my window, and then each one of my clouds I popped up with some foam tape. Now there was a little sunshine in the stamp set, so I thought as an afterthought we'll stamp that in our little sky. And just using my Copic markers, I did a little bit of shading with 2 different shades of yellow. And then I wanted to put my cloud right next to my little sun there. Okay, now we need bells and whistles. So with the windows, of course we got to use our glossy accents and glossy those up. We're just going to go around each one of our little windows. And then once our windows are all done, we're going to add a little sparkle to our sunshine using some Nuvo glitter drops. These are called Yellow Bird, perfect for sunshinies. And then for the clouds, I'm going to bring in my White Blizzard glitter drops. We're going to line those little clouds, and then I'm also going to dot the trees a little bit to give those a little bit of sparkle. But that's my card for today, guys. Oh, I did later on add one more cloud in my scene. So in the pictures, you'll see one more cloud. But that's my card. Thank you for joining me today. Thanks for putting up with my chit-chat. I wish you a lovely day, guys. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.